Hi, I'm Bob Chelmick. Thanks for your interest in this project of ours, a small charity in India that's having a huge effect for hundreds of village children. Let me tell you how I found out about this school in Atsalia, a small mud hut village in Uttar Pradesh in northeastern India. I'm a filmmaker and a broadcaster, and I was researching a documentary a few years back on an Edmonton man by the name of Shiv Shankar Dwivedi. His friends call him Pandit because he's a pundit, a priest, a Hindu priest, and he works out of the Edmonton Hindu Cultural Center. I thought his story was fascinating. Here was this man who grew up in a small farming village in India and found he had a great aptitude for the language of the ancient scriptures of India, Sanskrit. In fact, he became a gold medal winner in debates in Sanskrit. And he had no intention of going abroad, but he ended up in Edmonton as the priest of a Hindu temple in Edmonton. And I thought that was a great story. So I started researching it, and then I started talking to him, and he told me about this charity. He came to Canada for the sole purpose of actually earning enough money to start a school in his home village. And that's just what he did. He saved every penny for a couple of years, went back to India. He and his father built the first ever school in the village of Atsalia, which hardly even appears on a map. I loved that aspect. Here was a man bringing the rich cultural values of South Asia to Canada, and yet he was also tied clearly with his home village, bringing the modern riches of Canada back to his village and offering these children a future. I loved it. So we went to India and shot some film at the village of Atsalia. Atsalia is a small village, mostly mud huts for the people to live in, but the family atmosphere, the clean air, it's so different from city India. Rural India is another world. It was a great joy to visit the village and to see this success story that Panditji had created and that Canadians had picked up on and continued to support over the years, building it to a 400 student school, and the students were so eager to come to school, to have this opportunity to get an education. Many of them, for the first time in their family history, will know how to read and write. The first person in their family to be able to say, I can read and write. That will change your life. So this school has, 400 students. It looks great. It's very successful. And when I say successful, no one's making money on this thing. It's a free education school. We take those for granted in the West. Not in India, especially not in village India. That is what distinguishes this school. Another thing that distinguishes this free education school in Atsalia is that it has no barriers to any student. No barriers in terms of one's gender, equal opportunity for boys and girls. That's huge in India still. Equal opportunity no matter what your caste traditions are. Equal opportunity no matter what your economic standards are. In fact, on occasion, the school will actually pay a family to allow their child to come to the school because the family couldn't afford the child not to be a child laborer. So the school will actually pay the family a few rupees a day in order to allow the student to come to school. What does that mean to the hundreds of students now over the past couple of decades that have managed to get an education, certainly a start in their education at this free education school? It means everything. It means everything to them. It means everything to their family. So to be there is an inspiring experience, to see the enthusiasm of these children, the enthusiasm for an education, how eager they are to get to school in the morning. That's refreshing, I'll tell you. Many of them walk for miles and miles to get to that school. And it's building a reputation as a quality education. But the other thing I noticed when I visited the school is a need. There is not enough classrooms. There are not enough classrooms for all of the students who want to come to this free school. So the youngsters, they study under the trees. That's not so great all year round in India. The computer lab where the older students are studying computers. Well, the day I visited, their one computer, an old thing, didn't work. They don't have electricity that's reliable at the school. All right, so there are great needs in Atsalia. Canadians continue to support as they can this one project in this one village, which has such a wonderful effect on so many hundreds of students. And it's an exciting thing to witness and to tell people about. And so I'm happy you were able to hear my story today of my enthusiasm for this free school in Atsalia. If you want to know more, you can go to the website of the organization that funnels the charity money to this school, and that's the Maanaw Seva Association based in Edmonton. Go to their website. Here it is, maanawseva.org. I'm Bob Chelmick. I hope you get a chance perhaps one day to see the film that we made called The 3 Lives of Pandit Ji. You can find out more about that on the website as well. Thanks for being with me today.